Hello and welcome to Kotak Securities YouTube channel. I am Indu Chaudhary and this is Kotak Chatroom, a show where we talk about primary market IPOs and interact with management to get their opinion. In this special edition, we are going to be focusing on KFin Technology Limited's upcoming IPO. Joining in to discuss more details on the IPO with me, Mr. Sreekanth Nadella, Managing Director of KFin Technology Limited. Sir, welcome to the Kotak Chatroom and thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thank you so much for having me over.
Let me kickstart by asking about this IPO first. What is the objective of launching this IPO and how will it really help the company?
IPO of KFin Tech is a pure offer for sale with a dilution of stake by our current promoter, partial dilution of stake of General Atlantic Partners. The purpose of the IPO, in addition to the stake sale, of course, is and more importantly, to continue our journey towards transparency in governance. As we have a broad-based shareholders, and we believe that engaging with the public markets is just as important for us as an organization as it is important for us from a business context as well, given the credibility it lends in our international expansion.
Please help us to understand company's business model, product and services.
See, KFin Tech is a technology-enabled capital market infrastructure, servicing organization. It's a complex sentence, but let me break it down for you. Uh, at the basic level, right? For example, one of our bigger lines of businesses is to manage mutual fund operations. If you're an investor and if you invested in an SIP or any transaction at all, the entity that does the entire transaction processing underneath it is effectively KFin Tech for all the clients that we manage for, right? That includes receipt of money, that includes creation of the units that you see in your statement of account, and engaging with you in terms of any kind of service request that you may have post which. We render this at scale. We process about 1.5 million transactions a day across 24 mutual fund companies. We manage similar set of services for alternate investment funds, portfolio management services, pensions, private retirement schemes. We also manage similar set of services not just for India but also for countries such as Malaysia, Philippines, Hong Kong, and soon to start in Singapore. In addition to this, if you are a subscriber to the national pension system, we provide all the necessary services underneath that. We, in fact, are the largest share transfer agent in the country. If you're a company intentful of going public, we are one of the participant to provide the necessary services as a registrar and transfer agent. Once a company goes for public, all subsequent transactions to manage your members book is also something that KFin Tech does. At the heart, we are basically a technology company providing hyper local transaction processing solutions and services for the capital market industry.
Mr. Nadella, what would be the revenue growth drivers going forward? Is there a plan or strategy to expand in other financial verticals as well?
Our revenue mix is broadly, 65% of the revenue comes from, providing extensive solutions to the domestic mutual fund companies in India. We have scaled up our operations internationally, which today provide about 15% of our revenue. And we secure another 13% to 15% of revenue in our share transfer work and some amount of pass through. Now, we have purposefully diversified our business over the past 4 to 5 years. Diversification includes multiple asset classes, so not just being a mutual fund player, but also being at scale player in alternate investment funds and PMS and pensions and private retirement schemes. Diversification also in the form of geographies, and diversification also in the form of technology enabled solutions that we provide to a plethora of clientele today. Our key growth drivers are going to continue to rely to a good extent on the financialization story of India and its continued expansion of savings moving into investments as a pattern, as well as the fact that there's a certain amount of controllables that we want to drive, which is largely through the technology-enabled solutions. We continue to believe in the sound financial structural story of India as well as the countries that we operate in. And through our tech-enabled solutions, we believe we'll be able to grow at par with the industry.
Mr. Nadella, a significant majority of the revenues in your business come from domestic mutual fund, and the market share of the domestic mutual fund business, based on numbers of clients, as reported by CRISIL, has remained the same at 59% in fiscal 2022, fiscal 2022. So, how do you see the growth of mutual fund industry in the next 3 to 5 years in domestic market?
Again, the same CRISIL report also indicates a 14% CAGR growth possible in the next 5 years. And given our market share as well as our expansion in terms of the AUMs that we support for our clients, which has seen a steady rise over the last 3 years to 4 years. Today, we manage all the AMCs, which contribute to close to 35% on the equity side of the assets under management and close to 32% on the overall AUM, which had been steadily rising over the past 8 quarters. Going by the CRISIL report and our historic performance as well as the continued expansion into new clientele, we believe that the growth trajectory is something that we would be able to accomplish.
Mr. Tandila, the number of SIPs accounts increased from 21 million as of March 2018 to 58.38 million as of September 2022. Uh, we can see the popularity of equity funds, the rising participation of retail investors has increased rapidly. So, can we expect SIPs to be an important component in overall AUM growth?
So the numbers speak for themselves, Hindu. In addition to what you've just cited, today the SIP book stands close to 13,700 crores for the month that had just gone by. It provides strong resilience to our stock markets. It provides a fantastic investment vehicle for retail investors, and this had been probably been the surest way to accumulate wealth in the most tax effective manner in the country for a fair period of time. Uh, I think the investors also have the coming of age investing behavior also is something that that was to be seen in the recent past. For example, it wasn't too distant past when the retail investors would continue to invest when the markets are going up and probably sell out when the markets are going down. Today, you see a far more nuanced investor, who would continue to invest even during the times when the markets are not on the uphill. And that explains a lot in terms of the stickiness of the SIP book. It drives certain amount of financial discipline, which is very important. In some sense, it has also replaced, through the series of product and platform and even the gamification aspects of it, where an individual back in the day would have preferred to spend the money on e-commerce portals, shifting that behavior to now saving, using the digital and the platforms that you see. The SIP book, is definitely the backbone of the industry, and the entire market participants, including the asset management companies and the intermediaries, play a big role in that. The industry body, AMFI, has been pioneering through its investor education programs, as well as the programs to outreach in terms of the campaigns such as Mutual Fund Sahiye, which played a very, very vital role in the growth of this industry.
Yes, we have seen a lot of growth in mutual fund and SIP industry, but the overall growth of mutual fund industry is underpenetrated compared to other economies. So, do you believe there are a lot of opportunities to grow, and do you have any plans to invest in new innovations or technologies to grow rapidly?
Thank you, Indu. You are spot on in terms of the penetration of mutual funds in India. It's still in its nascent stage, though we have seen spectacular rise in the past few years, thanks to the work of the AMCs, AMFI, the distributors, and even market participants such as KFin Tech. We believe, just in terms of comparatives, a developed economy such as US has investments and the AUM locked in mutual funds, which is close to 3 times their GDP, which is close to $100 trillion. Now, you compare that to India, we are still at about 12% of the GDP, which is substantially lower even when compared to that of other developing economies. So there is a significant leg room both in terms of number of new investors who need to be brought into the industry, as well as the growth in terms of value, which will continue to provide resilience to the markets, as well as provide the right mix of investment vehicle for any investor, so to speak. KFin Tech has been a pioneer in bringing several industry-first products and platforms, whether it is for the asset manager, whether it is for the intermediaries such as distributors, or for the investors alike. We have been consistently increasing our spend on technology. We have spent, increase our spend had been from roughly 50 crores 3 years back to close to 160 crores, for the year. Now, all of this spend, good amount of the spend, had been going largely to create these solutions. For example, on KFintech's platform, you can transact on any local vernacular, not any, but about 12 local vernaculars. We believe that to democratize the participation of mutual funds, it's important to reach every nook and corner of the country, which also where we need to be cognizant of the fact that not everybody will be prolific in English, and they may want to transact on platforms which support local vernacular. So today you can transact on Gujarati or Telugu or Tamil or Marathi, so on and so forth, which is a very important item in terms of taking the innovation to the masses. Our products towards the intermediary ecosystem is extremely important, given they play a very significant role in bringing the investors into the ecosystem. Whether it is managing their commission structures, whether it is providing the statements, creating platforms whereby the intermediaries do not have to even physically travel anywhere to make sure that the transactions are closed, or creating the first of its kind virtual branch in a country like India with 150 crore population. It does not make sense to create physical infrastructure across. So creating virtual platforms is a very important thing. So it is all about creating the next generation technology platforms and products for every stakeholder in the ecosystem. And we believe that our contribution so far had been the catalyst. And in times to come, there are certain revolutionary products, which we believe will further entrench the investor base, further expand the investor base, and entrench ourselves into a very endearing partner to the ecosystem.
Sir, I would like to understand, since a company is dependent on its limited number of customers for a significant portion of revenue, so do you see it as a challenge or a risk factor for your company?
It is a matter of pride for us, in fact, that we have customers, who have been contributing to our growth. Right, top five customers give me close to 50% of our revenue, and these relationships have been there for over 20 years. Many of these relationships, it speaks volumes in terms of our partnership, our journey together. We have grown together, both as a client as well as a partner. We do not look at ourselves as a third party as much as an extended operations arm of our client. Having said that, we have also orchestrated significant modes and diversified our businesses over a period of time. As I've explained, our international business today contributes 15% of our total revenue. Our issuer solutions business contributes another 15% of our total revenue. Mutual fund expansion of our clients also, if you see, we have today, as per CRISIL report, 59% of the total asset management companies in India are serviced by KFin Tech. And several of the mid-tiered AMCs have been, in fact, growing the fastest in the industry. We believe that in time to come, there would be further normalization, even as in the last 5 years, we have seen the contribution from the top five coming down by 300 to 400 basis points. We believe that as we orchestrate our international growth and a diversified asset class business, we will have further de-risking. But I do not consider it as a risk. It's a matter of honor and privilege for us to be serving for some of the largest clients, that relationship which, we cherish a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you so
Nadella,
much,
for
Indu.
joining
My
with
pleasure.
us, and we wish you all the very best for this new journey. Thanks.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.